Welcome to a new installment of the Advice Annex with me, JP Metz, a show where I give you guys my own 2 freaking cents based on you guys' questions. And I answer all sorts of questions on a variety of different topics, so I welcome them all. Anything that maybe I have experience in that I think I could help you guys out with. Now, I would like to remind you guys that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a clinician, I don't have any degrees on the wall, but I do have my own life experience, and I have a genuine interest in helping you guys out and maybe giving you some perspective, maybe something you weren't thinking about with your situation. So think about me as like a big sister, alright guys? And if you are out there and you need any advice on anything, really, please call me. The number is 732-529-5772, or you can email me at theadviceannex@gmail.com. Don't be shy, it's really hard to mess up. Just try to remember to include your name, age, and general location, and try to keep it as short as possible, because I don't want like a whole bunch of rambling about anything on this show if possible, okay? Now, before I jump right into the questions, which again, I got a whole bunch of good ones from you guys, thank you for your contributions, I just wanted to explain something that I mentioned today on Twitter, actually. There's a Twitter handle that I follow that I love, @TheIlluminati, and they tweet the best stuff. It's basically just like life stuff. It's stuff about leading a fulfilling and optimistic life just in general, and I don't think it's the actual Illuminati. I don't know who is handling that account. I doubt it's the Illuminati. I think all of those conspiracy theories are a bunch of baloney, in fact. But I just really like the account. And anyway, they tweeted that optimism was a choice, which I really agreed with, so I retweeted it, and I had a discussion on Twitter about it, and I just wanted to clear up a few things about optimism. I think people think that it's something that it's not really, or at least the way that I think of optimism is not really a feeling or something that you, quote, feel after something good happens to you, or if you have a reason to feel good. I think of it more as a way of life, really. It's something that you choose to do. Being optimistic doesn't mean blindly agreeing with something or believing in something, or, I mean, if you have no reason to feel good about something, you feel good about it anyway, or something like that. I don't think it's true that optimists are deluding themselves in any way. It's just the way that you approach things is with a default of, what can I learn from this, or how can this improve my life or the other person's life, versus pessimism is like, this sucks, this person sucks. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you have a friend that really doesn't have a history of treating their life very well. Let's say that they're a drug addict, and maybe even they stole some money from you, or you knew of people that they've stolen from in the past, but, you know, this person decided to get sober. They've been sober a few months, and they decided that they would really like to go back to school. And they ask you, could I have the money to go back to school? Like, and you want to... See, an optimist, it doesn't mean, okay, yeah, that's great, this is an optimistic thing, here's money. No, that's not what it means. You still might not trust that person with your money, or think that you're going to get it back. You have no reason to trust this person with your money. It doesn't mean you hand them over a stack of $100 bills, but it does mean, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not able to lend you the money, but I'm willing to give you support. You know, you can cheer them on, be like, I believe in you, you can believe in this person, even if this person might have a hard time believing in themselves, so you can believe in them for them. So that's kind of like how I like to think of optimism. It's not believing in like some Santa Claus, unicorn, airy-fairy fake reality, but it is deciding that you're gonna look at the good side of things and what you might learn from it, versus just thinking that it's horrible and life kind of sucks because these things exist. I hope this is making sense, but I I would really like to, what I have been doing with the Advice Annex lately is, I believe that there is a benefit to being a little bit more optimistic. So I'm gonna try to demonstrate this now and in the future. Alright guys? So, that was a good ramble, but why don't I get right to the questions? Alright, first call, and I'm excited because this caller is a repeat caller, so that's, yeah, that means I'm doing something right, guys.
Hi Justine, my name's Danielle, I'm 19 from upstate New York, and I don't know if you remember me, but I called you in 2011, and you told me to call you back, but I guess this is me calling you back. And my problem back then was with this one guy who would hang out with his ex-girlfriend all the time and lie to me about it. And you told me to just stop talking to him and to cut ties. Well, I went back to school that fall semester after all of that, and everything was fine for a while. And I ended up moving back home in 2012 to be with him, which was kind of a huge mistake. And things were fine at first, and then they kind of frizzled out, and he got mad at me, and he actually moved back in with his ex. And at that point, I did cut ties, and I got 2 jobs, and that helped to take my mind off of things. But then by the end of August of 2012, he just kind of like pulled me back in. And where we are right now is we talk basically every day still, and things are a little stressed because he moved 13 hours away from home, but only 5 hours away from school. So, like, I can go out and see him easier when I'm at school, but he doesn't want to see me during school because he doesn't like where I go to school. And I guess my problem is I don't know how to go about the relationship anymore. I don't know if I should keep trying, if I should just try and cut ties. I don't know what to do, really. He told me that when I go back to school that he's done and he's not going to talk to me anymore, and I don't know if I should believe him or if I should just, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think or feel or anything. It just hurts because it hurts being away from him, and it hurts that I will drive 13 hours to see him, and he won't do that for me, and he won't put in half the time or effort that I do. So if you could help me out, thanks.
Oh, Danielle, I'm so sorry you're still going through this. That's awful. Well, it sounds like you two have been through quite a roller coaster ride, but it also sounds like, well, that not much has changed. See, the problem is that you put so much effort into this relationship. You really want it to work. You don't see why it can't work. In fact, you're being maybe too optimistic about it because see, it doesn't sound like he's doing anything that shows how he feels about you. I would love it if you would be in a relationship where the other person cares about you as much as you care about them. Now, I believe that loving someone is, I think of love more as like a verb. Loving someone is something that we do. It's something that we demonstrate, and you are demonstrating so much love and patience with this guy. You have endless love and patience for this guy. But, I mean, he doesn't want to visit you at school because he doesn't like your school. That makes so little sense. I don't even know where to begin with it. I'm not putting you down. I'm not saying that... Look, I know the reason why you're doing this is because you really care about him, but I also feel like a part of it is that you don't want to let go. You want him to care about you as much as you care about him. But you can't do that. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Unfortunately, we can't make other people do or say or think or behave any way. We can't. That is ultimately up to them. So he's either demonstrating this love, quote, or not. I mean, either he's loving you or not. I mean, it sounds like he's just, I hate to say it, but kind of using you for attention. I mean, you guys broke up. You made yourself busy to try to get your mind off of it, which is great. by the way, because when you end a relationship, it's really painful. So it's helpful to keep yourself busy. You kept yourself busy, but then you said he sucked you back in. So, which is fine. You know, you had a weak moment. You kind of missed him too. You weren't over it yet. You know, these things take time, but he was probably just lonely. You're kind of convenient because you're willing to drive like 13 hours to see him. But he's also not demonstrating what he's willing to sacrifice. I'm not saying true love is driving 13 hours. Some people just are unwilling to do that. But if one person's willing to do much more than the other, it's just not equal. It's not fair to you. It's not fair. Once again, I would love it if you met someone else that cared about you as much as you cared about them, because that is a great relationship. What it sounds like with you guys, it sounds like the both of you are just unwilling to let go. Like you're just not ready to truly feel that pain and get over it. You know, you're hanging on to the little hope that it's going to work out, but there's, you know, nothing to, there's no reason why it would, it sounds like. It's kind of like my story in the beginning with the drug addict. There's a million reasons not to give this person money. There's enough reasons to just not give this person money. And it sounds like with you guys, there's enough reasons for you to just move on and find people that are closer to you. And I just know that when you are willing to open your heart to other people, you'll find someone else. Somebody that really, truly cares about you, okay? So I'm not saying, you know, maybe before when I said cutting ties, that's kind of abrasive. I just want you to adjust your expectations with him. Realize that he doesn't love you as much as you love him. And maybe there's room for you two to be friends. I don't know how your relationship is. It may not have to mean totally cutting ties, but totally cutting ties would help you move on, in my opinion, in my experience. Okay, Danielle? So once again, I will ask you to give me another update, but once again, my advice is that it sounds like you really have got to move on, okay? Good luck.
Hi, Tippy Nuts. My name is Rose, and I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I'm 16. My problem is that sometimes I feel smothered, I guess you could say, by my mom. Sometimes she's really overprotective. Like, and I know she's just doing mom stuff. Sometimes I don't feel independent as a 16-year-old because I have to rely on her for a lot of things. Like, I recently got my license a couple weeks ago, and she's just been really scared, I guess, about letting me use the car because she said there's crazy people out there, etc., etc. Sometimes we talk about it, but I don't know if she understands how I feel or how overprotective I feel she is. I know that she's a mom, but sometimes it just annoys me, it frustrates me, and this thing's driving me maybe to want to go out of state for school sometimes, because I can't. Sometimes I'm just so frustrated and I just need help.
Thank you for this question. I can understand how you feel. My mom was extremely smothering when I was younger, to the point that, I mean, when the carnival was in town, we didn't go because there's creepy people there. And when I started driving recently, I didn't start driving until I was much older, but my dad wasn't very comfortable with me at the wheel, and to the point that I realized the only way I can drive is if I pay for my own lessons. So I understand smothering. It is very annoying, and it's especially annoying because it's one of those things, like what I was talking about earlier, that we can't really control how people act or how they feel, or we can't even really control it if people don't trust us. Even if we feel like there's no reason for them to not trust us, they still... See, that we can't really help. People are gonna think and do and feel whatever they do. That is up to them, and it's kind of up to them if they decide to be smothering. Now, some things you can do to help, such as you can do things maybe before she gets a chance to comment on it or do it for you. Like, say your mom's like really smothering, she does everything for you, she even makes your bed. That's weird, so just make your bed before she has a chance to get to it, or do your homework before she has a chance to be like, well, you better get started with your homework. Little things like that. And if you feel like you already do those things, then, like I said, hopefully over time with you demonstrating that you're responsible and you don't need her to smother, hopefully that will help. But if it doesn't, then it just doesn't, and you just have to deal with the fact that you've got a really smothering mom. And regarding you deciding to go out of state for school to get away from it, I can understand why you feel that way. And I'm not even necessarily against that at all, but if you're going to make a big move like that, make sure it's because that's what you want to do, and you have reasons for that other than other people driving you away or what other people want you to do. Make sure it's something that you want to do. I mean, moving away might help regarding the smothering issue, but if she's just always smothering, probably not really. It's probably just a personality thing that we've got to deal with. I still deal with it even at this age. So I would try those things, see if it helps. And otherwise, good luck with this issue, and go to school out of state if you want to, okay? Now I'm going to get to some email questions. Now, if you need any advice and you would rather email than call me, you can. The address is theadviceannex@gmail.com. Just try to remember to include your name, age, and general location. And try to keep it brief, alright guys? Alright, first one comes from Scott. He's 17 and he's from Australia. Scott says, I'm really lost about what to do about this. So recently I met this guy online and we eventually started Skyping. We ended up meeting up and doing some, quote, stuff. Afterwards I felt terrible because this was the first guy I had got with that I actually really liked, and our time together felt like it was just about that, quote, stuff. Anyways, we started texting again and we eventually met up again, which was a relief, but he's moving like 40 minutes away and says he doesn't want to lead me on, but I already do kind of felt let on. We haven't talked since the second time we met up, and now it's been a week. Should we just move on, or should I try to talk to him more because, well, a 40-minute drive isn't that far? I'm just so lost, and I've been feeling really bad about myself, which is stressful because I have school exams soon, and I don't want this to affect my performance. The thing is, he's a really nice guy, and he said I can call him whenever I want to, but I feel young and stupid and like I'm wasting his time. He's almost 21 years old, which is another reason I'm feeling very self-conscious about all of this. Sorry for the long email, I hope you can help. It wasn't that long, Scott. I think I get the gist of it. The thing is, I think you need to decide what you want with this guy. Would you like to see him more often? Decide that first. I mean, apart from how you think he may feel, what do you want to do? Would you mind dating someone who's like 40 minutes away? This is all entirely up to you. Do you like him that much? If so, why don't you text him and be like, hey, I really enjoyed hanging out with you, and, I don't care that you live so far away, but do you want to meet up again? Just striking a conversation up with him and see where it goes. When you text him, you don't have to have all these expectations already in mind about where this may or may not lead, but if you enjoy spending time with him, just as a friend, then why not hang out with him? If you, like I said, enjoy your time, kind of, makes sense. But, if you're not sure how he feels, then that's, if you do want something with this guy, then that's probably something that's helpful to find out. If you text him and you're like, hey, I really liked you, I would like to see you more, and he responds in a way that's like, nah, then I mean, if you text him saying that you would like to see him more often, there is a chance that he might shoot it down. So that's the part where, how people say love hurts. Sometimes the other person doesn't feel the same way, and the only way that you can find that out is if you find out. Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting around wondering. So, it's up to you. I would text this guy if you like him. If you think that the age is too much of a too much of a distance, if you think your physical distance is too far, then don't do it. But if you like this guy, then go for it and see what happens. Good luck. Next question comes from Anonymous, 25, and from Oregon. Anonymous says, I will try to keep this pretty short, even though the story is pretty crazy and long. I've been married to a man for over 3 years, but I recently came out to him as a lesbian. He is extremely supportive, even though this is a little strange for him. We are planning on living together until we can both get on our feet as individuals, and we are best friends, so this isn't too difficult. My question is, how would you suggest I let my conservative Christian parents know? They are already against divorce, but for them to find out I'm gay at the same time might be too much for them to handle. Would you suggest I just tell them all the details at once? I'm not exactly close to my parents anymore. They have already been distant from me ever since they found out I'm an atheist. Part of me just wants to change my Facebook status and hope that the word gets around. Thank you. This is quite a hard-hitting of a question, Anonymous, and I'm really, really grateful for it because I think that this might help a lot of people that are in a similar situation. I think a lot of people probably stay in the closet, not so much as much they don't accept themselves as gay yet. It's because they're afraid of the fallout from other people that are not living your life, other people that have no idea what it's like for you to be you. And the thing is with your parents, I apologize if I'm jumping to conclusions here. But they're not accepting of these things. They're probably the kind of people that assume that your sexuality is a choice, even though there's no evidence to suggest that. They still believe it for whatever reason. And remember what I was saying throughout this podcast about how we can't make people think or feel or believe or do anything. People will do what they do. So, does that mean that you have to hold yourself back because they choose to do the thing? I don't believe that being gay is a choice at all, remotely, but they do, and I believe that they should accept the consequences for how they feel and believe. So, that said, yes, I do think you should tell them the details at once, because you're their daughter, and you don't want to keep someone in the dark. It's not up to you whether or not they agree with it morally or not. That's all up to them. The facts are what they are. So, I'm really happy that your ex-husband is supportive here, because in situations like these, with, again, what I said, we can't make people do anything. We can't make people support us. If that's the case, if your immediate family chooses not to support you, then you kind of have to create your own family of people that do support you. Your parents are like, I don't know, stuck in 1950 something, but that doesn't mean that you have to. I would hate for you to have to hold yourself back here. I really would. You know, they're willing to write off a daughter because of her religious beliefs. You know, I in my opinion, it's just not, I don't know how Christian that is. I mean, granted, I'll admit I'm not a Christian, so it is kind of hard for me to wrap my head around, but, you know, I think that you should be honest. I think that you should be you. You should be you, and don't edit yourself because you're worried about offending other people because of their outdated beliefs. I really do wish the best for you, Anonymous. I think that once you get over this hump, you're gonna be in a place where you are finally being yourself. You're finally letting yourself be happy and experience life the way that you're meant to. And, you know, if other people don't want to join you on your path to joy, then that's their prob. So, yes, I would tell them all the details. It might be rough they'll probably, you know, they might not accept it at first, but hopefully over time they'll come to understand and accept. But again, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So that's my short answer to a complex. That's my short answer to a complex answer for your short story for a complex story, I guess. So definitely good luck with this issue, and I hope that you keep me posted, okay? And that'll do it for today's Advice Annex. So again, if you guys need any advice, please call me. No, really, please call me, because I'm running out of calls. The number is 732-529-5772. Don't panic, there's instructions. Or you can email me at theadviceannex@gmail.com. Just remember to include your name, age, and general location, and to keep it as brief as possible. Alright guys, so I do have an MP3 available for the download of this one. It's in the description box of the YouTube video. And I'll have the MP3s for the past 2 episodes up too. I'll put those up soon, before the weekend. Alright guys, just follow me on Facebook and Twitter at JPMets. And I'll let you know when those MP3s are up, for anybody that wants them. Alright guys? So, yeah, I guess that's it. So have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye. I'm sorry that you're going through this. Shit, I was not recording.